Oh, this one. Oh, this one was, someone put this in there today. This is a good looking one. Why the ranked grind is so toxic. Action video. These are typically pretty damn good. All right, I'm in. Let's go.
Multiplayer games can be toxic.
Say to me, you little. I'm taking a cigarette break.
It's a classic ninja clip.
Oh my god. I can't play with you. I cannot play with that brain.
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. You're so.
Wait, what's the quality of this? Why the f is it on 360p? I was like, wait a minute.
You're
I thought I knew they were old clips,
this guy
but
doesn't deserve this.
I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here.
wait, this is like this is actually semi-recent. This isn't that old.
Right here. I'm right here. I'm right here. Now I know. Oh my god.
No matter what you're playing, it always seems like there's that one teammate who thinks their Gold 2 promo match is the VCT final.
This has been a year of a lifetime, and I'm just so thankful for everyone, the fans, my friends, family.
Whether it's a support refusing to heal because the tank wasn't able to save them in Overwatch, or an ADC running it down and intentionally feeding in League of Legends, ranked
like a
modes
year ago.
seem to bring out the worst in
That's
people,
still more
and that's without getting
recent
into
than,
voice
like,
and text chat. So why
some
is
of the
ranked
older ninja
experience
clips,
so
like, that's like
frustrating?
24.
Why are people
Well,
so mean?
2016 maybe? I don't know.
Oh yes, good job, you reject.
And the real question, is there a way to fix it? Today, that's what we're going to explore.
I will just say, if you are one of those people who gets extremely hyper toxic and hyper, like, you get pissed off, typically you just kind of have a weak mental. Like, getting super angry like in those games, like, it actually makes you play worse. It makes you play so much worse, and then it spirals, and that's how you get on a big losing streak, because you just get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and you get madder and madder, and then you yell at your teammates, and then they play worse, and it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse. And it's like, realistically, it's just mental. Like, the difference between like in Overwatch, like a low, like high masters, low GM player and a top player is like 95% of the time mental.
Perfection isn't good enough.
Same thing in Rivals.
What they think when they see me.
Your life is as valuable as a summer ant.
Your life had no value. There is nothing for me.
You kiss your mother with that mouth?
So bad. So bad. You should yourself now.
And also, by the way, when I say that, it doesn't mean you can't get upset, you can't get annoyed, and you can't get tilted, but like, I'm talking like pure rage and like toxic at your teammates and like fucking yelling at them and shit. Like, you can only mitigate it so much, obviously.
Fuck you.
It hurts so good.
True.
Okay, so what is ranked? And why does basically every game on the market have a competitive mode? For players, ranked is a way to get an idea of your current skill level. It helps you track your growth as you climb through various ranks and makes games more exciting by putting something on the line.
Anger issues when it comes to gaming. Everything is chill and full of love now. How close do I have to get to start calling this 4 years already?
I think the 43 months, we have MH? What's MH? I think a Monster Hunter. But, wait, is Monster Hunter actually a tilting game? Really?
Stop! Stop! Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
As an added bonus, it also lets you compare yourself to your friends and can be the source of some serious bragging rights. For game developers, ranked is a way to keep players engaged. Most ranked modes reward players with cosmetics based on their rankings at the end of the season, like the Victoria skin line in League of Legends, or Rocket League rewarding players with trails and titles based on their rank. It's also a great way for games with professional scenes to track data of what champions are popular, which ones are overpowered, and which ones need buffs.
As do I.
In a perfect world, ranked
Wait,
systems
what?
would accurately show
I don't
players their
understand the
skill
reference.
level, and that's it. This is called matchmaking rating, or MMR.
And also, every quick mode has MMR, which is why quick play sometimes feels like ranked. They're the same thing sometimes.
For short. It's the system that matches players against each other based on their skill level. It's like ELO in chess, where gains and losses are proportional to the skill gap between you and your opponent. Beat a grandmaster? Your ELO is going to skyrocket. Lose to a small child who still calls the knight horsey? Your ELO is going to plummet. It's a simple system, and it's damn
True.
effective. The big difference between MMR and ELO, at least in virtually every modern game, is that MMR is hidden. What is shown instead can be a number of things. An arbitrary point system based on that hidden MMR, tiered divisions like bronze, silver, and gold, or just a giant number, the meaning of which is almost impossible to decipher. Tiers and divisions are by far the most popular ranked system, but not all tiers are created equal. In Overwatch, your rank would only change every 7 wins or
Oh god, this fucking
20
system.
losses, and then they changed it to 5 wins and 15 losses, and now they're getting rid of it altogether. League of Legends used to use a promotion series to gatekeep advancing
Someday we're gonna come full circle and it's gonna go back to the fucking numbers, chat. It's gonna happen.
through tiers. But regardless of what costume you put on the ranked system, there's a fundamental issue. The wants and needs of the
Stringing
developer
the two
are
gifted.
very different than those of the player.
So it could end up actually impacting how much they play the game if there is no incentive for them to actually show something off. So while I agree that it would be definitely healthy,
Honestly, the rivals method is the best. Like, you just do the normal Overwatch ranked 0 to 100 on each rank, all the way gold, plat, whatever. And then once you hit top 500 or you hit Eternity or Gem or whatever it is, and then turn it into numbers. It's like Apex, just like the number go up, it goes crazy. It infinitely goes up. That way everyone keeps playing and keeps going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher until the rank reset it at the end of the season, and then everybody comes back down.
there in a way for them not to be chasing numbers, chasing medals, chasing whatever it is that's keeping them away from things like single player games. You have to think about how much they're actually going to stick around to play it, and that might not be something that companies really want to look at in a way.
That was Dr. Natalie Coyle, who has a PhD in mental health research and studies the psychology of video games. Essentially, tiered rank systems encourage players to grind and grind and grind to reach their desired rank, often at the expense of their own enjoyment of the game.
Playing this game online
True.
is so bad for your health. I can feel it in my neck. I can feel it in my neck. Oh my god. Right in my neck where the clavicle connects to the duodenum. Oh my god. That's where the pain is.
I know people who say, oh, I want to go off and play Final Fantasy 16, but I can't because I feel obligated to chase the higher number in a
Oh my god, that's so fucking real. That's why I didn't get play Deadlock. Well, hang on. Well, that's not true. Okay, it is true, but at the same time, like, I wanted to play in higher MMR lobbies. I wanted to be in the good lobbies, so it's like I couldn't play the game. Like you can't play multiple live service FPS games at the same time and be amazing at all of them at the same time. Like, one of them will slip a little, and that will happen. Yeah, you can be like really good at them and like go back and forth, but like on average though, like you're gonna like you can pick it back up kind of quick, but like if you leave it for too long, it'll slip. And then if you go to a completely new genre and you spend time over there, it's gonna take forever to fucking learn that genre. And then by the time you get good at it, then you go back to the original one. It's like you'll still be good at it, but like you're gonna be way behind, and then you have to re-catch up. It's
competitive game. So it kind of
it's
plays
so hard
into that way that they're not maybe enjoying the game as much as someone should be.
So, right off the bat, we can see that the design of ranked systems can be highly addictive. But that doesn't fully answer the question of why it can be so toxic. If you ask any ranked player what they hated most about climbing the ladder, one of the top answers will likely be the toxic teammates they encountered along the way. You know, the teammates who would rather flame the mistakes of others than work together and actually win the game.
I guess I don't get to play the game. Yeah, don't worry. It's okay. I don't care. No problem.
A study done by Paul J.C. Adachi and Tina Willoughby at Brock University linked aggressive behavior with competitive video game. Quote, consistent with the general aggression model, we demonstrated that physiological arousal may be a mechanism through which video game competitiveness influences aggressive behavior. Basically, it boils down to two things: a player's intrinsic motivations versus their extrinsic motivations. In other words, whether their desire to win comes from within or from factors without. A player who is intrinsically motivated will be focused on self-improvement, learning from their mistakes and working towards being better than they were yesterday.
This is the way. This is the correct one. This is what you should do.
Generally, intrinsically motivated players have a healthier relationship with competition. Players who are extrinsically motivated are the ones who get toxic. Their motivations hinge on getting a higher rank, caring about how they're perceived by their peers, and winning.
That's why I've said for so long, when I was like not playing a lot of Overwatch ranked and stuff, I was like, who cares? Who gives a fuck? What's the point? I play quick play. Yeah, it's not as competitive as ranked, but who cares? I still get practice. I'm still doing fine. It just doesn't have a number going up and down. It doesn't do shit. I will say though, you said it sounds like a lot of streamers weird, but like no, if like it's not always their fault because their viewers care about that a lot. Like I'll tell you right now, when Rebels was started, like all anyone ever came in and asked me was, what rank are you? 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 Nobody really asked me that in Overwatch anymore because they just know. Because I've just been around for so many years. But like in Rivals, it's always every day ranked. What rank? Rank. Because they want to watch the good players get better and keep playing. And so like they feel like to compete and to get viewership and to have people want to watch them and enjoy their content, they have to be at that level. And so they feel like they're not good enough. And people attracted to number one, top 500, one above all. Yeah. But like, that is not the way.
Regardless of if they played well or not, the result is the only thing that matters. So every time they lose or drop in rank, they feel negative emotions, regardless of how well they or their team actually played. For those who don't have any competitive outlet other than video games, it can be hard to keep those emotions bottled up.
Unfortunately,
True.
that is kind of where you get the full extent of people's emotions, because that could be the thing that they attach value to. I don't feel that I'm very good at X, Y, and Z, but I feel like I'm good at this game. And if this is the only thing that I think that I'm good at, and that thought is being jeopardized, then I'm going to become quite emotional.
Oh my God, that's so... Oh, why is there a super clip?
For these players, chasing that emotional high of winning games and being promoted is one of diminishing returns, and can quickly become an addiction. Often, these players become hyper-competitive, experience high stress and burnout, and even damage their social lives outside of the game. In a report for the National Center of Mental Health in Schools and Students...
That is one thing I will stand on. I have an iron mental. Yes, I will bitch about shit to my chat. If I'm fucking tilted, I will complain to my chat because it's just like me encapsulating my thoughts out loud. But even if I'm fucking bitching out loud to my chat, I'm never doing it in game chat. And second off, if I am bitching to my chat, I'm still trying my absolute best. You know when you vent to somebody because you're kind of like upset about something and you're venting to them, it makes you feel a little better. It's like the same reason why people go to therapy. We go to therapy because like talking about those things will help you get over it. In the moment, me being like, holy fuck, my support player sucks fucking balls. I killed 3. And then it's like, I'm still fucking W king. I'm like still going. And it's fine because I'm not affecting them. I'm not making their day any worse. We're still all trying to play the game. We're all still working together. And at the end of the day, I will win more games than I lose by doing that. And that is the way. That is how you get good at shit, you know?
Student learning supports, Daniel Fu, a student at UCLA, describes a change in his brother's behavior. Quote,
although I ain't gonna lie, if you take a swing at the king, I'm fucking swinging back so goddamn hard. You guys don't see it very often. It's very rare. But if somebody comes at me really fucking hard, you will see that toxic. I will flame the absolute fuck out of you up and down the goddamn street. I will be fucking running up and down. What about Tony? I didn't even flame Tony in game. I didn't even flame Tony in game. I flamed him to you guys. You can't even say Tony. There was that Hella player that one time. I absolutely flamed the absolute out of.
During his grind to Diamond, he put off doing homework, he skipped classes due to late nights of gaming, and he appeared emotionally unstable when he lost too many games and got demoted a few ranks.
Oh my God, that's so real. You know, I talked to SK about that semi-recently. Like SK, like, I think it was like a month ago, like she went on like a big losing streak and was like basically talking to me like how like it literally like upset her. Like IRL. And I was like, you know what? I feel that. Like, remember that big losing streak I went on where I went from like almost Celestial 3 to like GM, almost Diamond 1? I was so tilted that day. But you know what though? At the end of the day, we fucking climbed all the way back up. We climbed all the way back up. No problem. It just took some time. Yeah, it was a great YouTube vid. Just having the iron mental to just get through it and not fucking blame it, like screaming all my teammates every game. Like, yeah, I was bitching to you guys like crazy. But like, that's different than like running at everyone in game and like flaming every single person I get into, like, fucking play better, you fucking suck ball, blah, 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 blah. And I remember talking to SK about it. Like, she was like really legitimately upset because like she had fallen a bunch. And I was like, dude, you know, I get it. Everyone has those days. You're gonna be fine. You just gotta go again the next day. And sometimes that's literally what it is. It's just going again the next day and having the ability to put it down and go again. Do you think Tim and Ninja actually rage or is just clip farming? Oh no, it is rage. It is real rage, but there's a difference though. Like if you're talking about like them at each other, they're best friends. That doesn't affect their relationship at the end of the day. Like they're friends. But it is real rage, though. It's just like, there's a difference between like rage, like, fuck you, I hate you, never speak to me again, and like rage, like, fuck you for this situation. Okay, like, let's move on. I think it's more of a number 2.
Additionally, the more games he lost, the worse he played. This, however, only made him want to play more, or either
starting to slip, I try to gaslight enemies in all chat to try and get enemy mentals to slip first.
break even, or not get demoted. He was in a vicious cycle where he put more and more time into the game while only getting worse, and this made him feel terrible about himself.
Yeah.
This experience is common among many gamers. I think most of us have a friend, or have personally been, in this vicious cycle. It's well documented, it's evident across the board, and it's a product of intentional design.
So where's some Smash?
Much like a gambling addiction, players look for that next hit of dopamine, that next win to affirm their self-worth. And the more they feel stuck, the greater the desire to break free, and the more the game consumes them. For game devs, this is great. League of Legends has around 3.5 million active players every day. If I was Riot, and these players were coming back day in and day out, I wouldn't care if they're playing because they're having fun and they love the game, or if it's because I've created this artificial feedback loop which lowers their self-esteem.
I'm way too broke to tweak like that. Fucking real insane. Don't get me wrong, I'm in a very privileged position these days, like being a streamer. Like, this has been life-changing. But I grew up super, super poor. And so I never broke my own shit. I never threw controllers. I never punched walls. I never punched all this shit. If I did punch a wall, it was like, you know what I mean? Like, I fucking stop at the last second, like, you, and then like walk away. You know what I mean? Like, nothing, like, you cannot afford to do that shit. You literally can't. Like, I had friends that were like super well off and they would do that shit. They throw controllers, fucking punch. Like, one of my friends is like dorm room, his entire bathroom wall disappeared because like they'd punch the wall all the time. The whole fucking bathroom wall was just gone. And I was like, I know that like all you guys are rich as fuck and your parents are rich as fuck, but like, this is gonna be like a $3,000 fine or some shit. It was. And guess what? They just paid it and moved on with their day. You can't get away with that, right?
Team to the point where winning a game is the only way they can feel good about themselves. As a company, if all they think about is my game, that's a big win. Unfortunately, there is no one answer of how to improve the ranked experience. Every player has different motivations for playing, and at the end of the day, it's up to each individual player to figure out
if their classic. The camera flies
off. Are you
tilt
queuing at 2 a.m. on a school night? Yeah. Are you having fun doing it? Maybe. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is good to introspect and think about why you're playing.
Think about this. Many of you using ranks out there now are under 18. Do you realize that at 18, you have lived only 1/4 of your life? When you're using ranked, you're only cheating yourself out of the chance to find out who you really can be. And believe me, if you don't use ranked, you can just about be anything you want to be.
So what are some things we can do? For starters, it's important to understand that competitive drive and intensity are all hardwired into us as humans, and we can harness it in different ways. It's easy to focus on what your teammates are doing, get mad at them, get frustrated because they're not doing what you would do, but no matter how much you type, or grief, or intentionally feed, the actions of your teammates are out of your control. So, instead of focusing on them, try focusing on yourself. Your actions are the only thing that are in your control, and even if a game looks unwinnable, you can still perform your job.
I always vote no to surrender. If you are a vote to surrender person, you are a bitch. If you are voting to surrender, you are a bitch. The only time it is acceptable is if you have somebody DC and they're not coming back and you know for a fact they're not coming back and it's like, okay, we're probably cooked. Other than that, you are a bitch.
To the best of your abilities and find success regardless of if you
coward.
It's important to treat yourself.
Some games are unwinnable. Bullshit. I guarantee you do not know that for a for sure answer. I know for a fucking fact there are people out there, most people out there that say, surrender, this is unwinnable. You are fucking wrong and you suck at the game and you're a fucking shitter. I can't tell you how many games I have won, especially even in Rivals, where people vote to surrender after like 2 fights, or in Valorant when it's like 3-9 or 9-3 or whatever, and it's like it's a super attack heavy or defense heavy map, and it's like it is literally designed to have that happen, and there's comeback mechanics. There's so many things that can happen, but you know what though? You don't have the mental fortitude to push through it. You'd rather give up and queue again and try to hope for a better situation. Use a bitch. Use a bitch! I'm telling you, you do not know when a game is winnable or unwinnable, because I can tell you as a player that has been really, really high ranked in multiple games, Siege, Overwatch, Rivals, I don't even know when a game is winnable or losable sometimes, because I will say to my chat, this game is fucking lost. GG, we're cooked. I still try my best and we win. And I go, I was wrong. That game was winnable and we did win. And I was the loser in that case where I said, it was, we're GG, go next. But the difference is though, is I never give up. I will always keep playing at my best the whole way through, even if it looks like it's cooked, because it's better to go down fighting and lose than to be a little bitch and make sure it's a guaranteed loss. That's a bitch made.
Finding a
I think surrender buttons in video games are stupid.
The balance between intrinsic and extrinsic motivations is the key. Step back and ask yourself, why am I playing? Identify holes in your game that you can improve on, be conscious of how you interact with other players, and remember that your rank is not a reflection of your worth.
They are the people who strike the perfect balance between enjoying the game, enjoying playing it, enjoying practicing it, enjoying finding out more about it, and just enjoying the
1v5, yeah, still winnable. You didn't listen to the beginning of what I said. You are baiting. Baiting used to be believable. I said that there's times where it's like, okay, like they have a lever, we know they're not coming back. Okay, like we're literally down an entire player, we're probably cooked, right? That's different. That's not all the games.
Enjoying practicing it, enjoying finding out more about it, and just enjoying the satisfaction of seeing the number go up. And if the number goes down, no problemo, we'll get that number back.
If all else fails, just remember, it's okay to end on a loss. You can step away from the screen and
ending on a loss is extremely based.
Come back later. After all,
some people say play till you win. No, it's play till you lose. Play till you lose.
You're playing a video game, and video games are meant to be enjoyed.
I would just really encourage people to think about whether or not they're having fun right now. That is my number one thing. If you feel obligated to grind ranked, if there are games you want to play, but you don't because you feel obligated to grind ranked, please play those.
Flash, you say that until you're in a league game of 3 hours because the enemy team wants to farm you and your teammates while infinitely scaling as Cho'Gath? Okay, so in this scenario, you're probably bumped into a Smurf account that's literally holding the lobby hostage. That is going to be your excuse for like why having a surrender mechanic is good. Listen, okay? If someone's straight up holding the lobby hostage, that's obviously an extreme case. Extreme, specific use case. That is not why, that's not how the button gets used 95% of the time. And you and I both know that for an absolute fact.
Those games, please take a break because you will definitely find yourself burning out.
So don't blow it.
That's your fault for playing League.
If you're doing it, stop it. Get some help.
Get real.
I want you to give yourself a chance to find out all the wonderful things you really can be. And so do I.
Thank you, Action.
This video
Esports
is made possible thanks to our wonderful patrons.
That was a gas video. That was actually a really gas video. Action videos are pretty damn good, so that's pretty damn good.